Hello guys, welcome to part 11 and chapter 12 of Legacy. First of all, I just wanna say that this story doesn't belong to me. I'm just narrating it. So if you wanna read the full story for yourself, there will be a link to the original post down in the description, so you can go there and read it for yourself. That being said, let's get into the video. Chapter 12: Mission to Wave. The past few days flew by with Kurunai's teams. They would train in the morning and do a couple of missions in the afternoon. Obviously, Naruto always complained since Naruto wanted to test his skill in the real world, but Hinata was always present to bonk him in the head. Who would have thought that he thought of the little shy Hinata? Kurenai was very surprised with the skill level that Naruto and Hinata displayed. If she had to judge, then the QB nailed it by saying they had Jonin level skills. Their team was composed by one Jonin, two green Jonins, one Jonin Sensei, two green Jonins, and a poor Genin lost in the middle. Poor Shino. Naruto, Hinata, and Kurenai would never leave Shino behind, so they began focusing more on him so he could be brought up to speed. Naruto, with the help of Kurenai, started on Kage level experience of for his chakra control. He had two exercises that he needed to do to bring his control to the highest level possible. The first was waterfall climbing. This exercise allowed, when mastered, the user to control vast amount of chakra with great precision. Since climbing a waterfall is certainly hard, the last exercise allowed one to have perfect chakra, almost rivaling Tsunade, princess, the Slug Sanin. This particular exercise was rather practical to perform. The user displayed a chunk of sand with multiple colors in his hand. The point of the exercise was to separate the alignment and the sand by color only by chakra. It was considered mastered when the user managed this in less than 10 seconds. Hinata didn't have any weaknesses per se. She had overall good skill, whatever it be, in taijutsu, ninjutsu, or genjutsu. Even kenjutsu. Her chakra control was flawless since it was a basic requirement for the Jugen gentle fist, her own version of the flowing fist. Shino, however, was another different level. His taijutsu was low gaining level since he was a long range fighter, their typical weakness. His ninjutsu was a three basic academy jutsu combined with his clans. His genjutsu was non-existent. However, overall, he was about mid-gaining in skills. However, they would change that Naruto placed a few restriction seals on him since it was too apparent if he started using too abrupt if he started using gravity seals. They decided to start his elemental training since everyone on his team already had their mastered. Surprisingly, he had earth and water, both defensive element. His team was the perfect storm for offensive and defensive. In fact, his nature served him well above anyone else. As a long-range fighter, normally his weakness would be close combat, since was solved by his training and affinities. Along with all his training, they also did teamwork exercise. One of the things that made Konoha as the strongest in the elemental nation was their notion notion of teamwork and loyalty above all else. Their teamwork was excellent. Neither of them had any problems with each other. Currently, we found Team 10 or Team Kuronai heading towards the Hokage office after a morning of training. I should clarify the last statement. It was training for Naruto, Hinata, and Kuronai, but for poor Shino, on would call it torture. The poor Genin was driven to the ground in order to gain the physical attribute he needed. Hokage's mission assignment room. The old Hokage was sitting in the middle of the table smoking on his pipe while handing a mission to the shinobi. To his left side was Iruka, the school teacher of the students of Team 10. The Hokage was deep in thought, remembering his prime, the thrill of the fight, and the adrenaline pumping through his system. Not many shinobi have the privilege of growing old. The shinobi's life expectancy was around 30 years, and reaching old age was very rare. However, many shinobi that reach such an age began to reminisce all they did in their life. Shinobi since birth are trained to fight, and fight they do. It is all they know throughout their lives. There is no greater death than death at the hand of your enemies in the midst of battle. However, being taken by old age it isn't something any warrior would want. Hiruzen Sarutobi, third Hokage of Konoha, and his hailed as the Shinobi no Kame, god of shinobi, the man that had seen two great ninja wars and lived as been reduced to nothing but a paper pusher. Not to get not Do not get me wrong. He loved his village and his village as the Hokage, but his time was nearing its end. It was time to pass his hat and have the younger generation assume his place. He was snapped out of his thoughts when he saw Team 8 walking through the door. It always brought a smile to his face seeing Naruto and even Hinata. He was like a grandfather to both of them since Hinata was expelled by her father. She didn't know why, but Naruto's smile always managed to cheer him up no matter how depressed the man was. Naruto was, for lack of a better word, a bundle of happiness. It surprised him how despite the glares and hate he received, Naruto managed to keep a cheerful and loving personality. Team 8 reporting for mission. Hokage-sama, Kuronai said, bowing to the Hokage. Even though the Hokage was clearly old, he still was a very powerful shinobi and one of the strongest in the Leaf Village. Teammate, welcome. Let's see what we got. The Hokage said, receiving the D rank mission scroll from Iruka. We have clearing Inuzuku clean. Inuzuka Canal, capturing Tora, helping an old lady move to a new house. The Hokage never managed to finish. Old man, we will be catching Tora, Naruto said, smirking. The Hokage raised an eyebrow. Oh, no one liked chasing that damn cat, and Naruto already done it in the past. Are you sure, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked, not really in the mood of running after a damn cat. What people don't know it is that Tora is actually a Nikoko ninja cat trained specially for helping Genin teams with their teamwork. Just trust me, Naruto replied, picking up the mission scroll. Hey, old man, what is the record for catching Tora? Naruto asked with a knowing grin. I think it is around 3 hours, but why do you ask? Do you intend to break it? The Hokage asked. Something like that, Naruto replied. He went back to the middle of the room and took a small scroll from his pocket. He unrolled the scroll to show a small interaction seal in it. He placed it on the ground. Naruto beat his thumb, drawing blood, and summoned it in the seal, saying, "Summoning jutsu." There was a puff of smoke. When the smoke cleared, in the middle of the scroll was Tora. The Hokage eyes almost popped out of his socket, and Naruto just laughed at everyone's expression. Mission accomplished, Hokage-sama, and I believe it's a new record, Naruto said, laughing for his ass off and delivering the cat to the Hokage. How did you do that? Naruto Kuronai asked. Even she had to chase that damn cat in her genin days. I already had to chase her a few times in the past, and somewhere along the way I got tired and placed a summoning seal on the cat. So I just offered a bit of blood and chakra, and I can summon Tora though to seal on this scroll through the seal on the scroll. Naruto explained, and the Hokage and Kuronai just nodded dumbly. Kuronai sensei, since I already got Tora and set the record for about 15 seconds. For about 15 seconds, do you want another mission? Naruto asked. Kuranai didn't have time to answer as suddenly there was a puff of smoke in the Hokage's desk, revealing a small dog. He had brown fur and wore a Konoha headband around his hand. A dog? Naruto asked, wondering who it was from. This is Pakun, a messenger and tracking dog from Kakashi. The Hokage explained. Hokage-sama, I have a message from Kakashi, Pakun said, handing the Hokage the scroll. The Hokage opened it and said, Hokage-sama, our client Tazuna lied about the mission's permits. It appears that the wave is under Gato's control and he wants Tazuna dead. We are attacked by the demon brothers Goju and Mizu from Hidden Mist, and we defeated them. We decided to continue. However, I request backup since the most likely we will be attacked again, this time probably by Jonin level missing ninja Nikonini. Hatake Kakashi Jonin sensor of Team 7. Team 8. The Hokage started getting their attention. It appears that the C rank mission I sent Team 7 to bumped into a low A rank. Kakashi requested backup, so I am sending you. He will explain everything when you meet with him. Dismissed. Hi, Team 8 said. Okay, team, go home and get your supplies. Meet me at the north gate in 1 hour. Kuronai said they all left the room and went to prepare for their first A rank. North Gate. 1 hour later. 1 hour later, Team 8 gathered in the North Gate, getting ready for departure. Kurunai inspected everyone's supply as it was a duty of a joint sensor. Okay, team. Before we depart, everyone has their supplies. Kunai shuriken food, first aid kit, soldier pills. Kurunai asked and got nods from everyone. Since we will be traveling at a high speed, we will reach Team 7 in a couple of hours. However, we don't know which route Kakashi took, so we will be taking the main one. Kuranai said. No need, sensei. Do you still have the message Kakashi sensei sent? Naruto asked. Yes, I do. Why? Kuranai asked, wondering what good it would do. Yes, Naruto beat his left thumb, drawing blood and spreading across his right hand palm. He went through a few hand seals: boar, dog, bird, monkey, ram, and slammed his hand on the ground and said, summoning jutsu. There was a puff of smoke, and when it cleared from his stood a medium-sized brown fox with 5 tails. Flashback. Hey kid, come into the seal. I want to talk to you. The QB said Naruto was currently 10 years old. He sat on the ground in the lotus position and started meditating. After a few seconds, Naruto stood in front of the QB of was currently laying on the ground, breathing beneath a large tree. You need something, Kurama. Something Kurama, Naruto asked. Actually, Kurama was the QB's real name. It appeared that the young Naruto grew onto the QB and he trusted him with his name. I am giving you your birthday present, Kurama said smirkingly. It is a bit is it a big flashy jutsu? Naruto asked excited. During Naruto's birthday, October 10th, Konoha always celebrated the Kyuubi's defeat by the fourth Hokage. Some of the villagers would gather up and try to harm Naruto, so his birthday were always a dark day for Naruto. But the Kyuubi Hinata and the Hokage always managed to cheer him up. It is a great technique, and you will be the first to use it. I trust you will use it wisely. Kuroma said in a front of him managed to materialize in front of him materialize a rather big scroll. This is the summoning contract for the Fox clan. Open it and write your name in blood in the first slot. Kurama explained. Naruto did as he was told and opened the scroll and bit his thumb. He wrote his name in the first slot and pressed all of his 5 fingers down, making a thumb print. Now, to summon a fox, help you beat your thumb and go through these hands says boar, dog, bird, monkey, ram, and pure chakra into the technique. Give it a try. Kurama explained. Naruto did the technique, and when it was over, in front of him stood a small fox. Thanks, Kurama, you are the best, Naruto said. Of course I am. I am the nine-tailed fox, king of Biju, strongest being in the world. Kurama boasted about himself. You still have that perky stick up your ass, Naruto said, laughing while dodging the QB tail that were trying to smash him. End of flashback. Naruto, you need help? The fox asked. Yes, Kinton, we need to track Kakashi Sensei to provide backup. This paper has his scent, Naruto said, and give the paper to Kinto, so he could track him. I have him. When you are ready, Kinto said, and Team 8 desired out of the Konoha, heading towards Team 7. Desired out. Days out. I didn't know you could summon Naruto, Kuronai said. I have the fox summoning contract. It was a gift from the QB, Naruto explained, getting a nod from Kuronai. She didn't want to pry too much. Few hours later, with Team 7 had just left the boat that they used to cross into the wave. Everyone was walking at civilian pace since they had Tazuna with them. Tazuna was as put a super amazing as he put a super amazing bridge builder. They were traveling in diamond formation. Sakura in front, Sasuke in front, Sakura and Kiba to the side, and Kakashi in the back with Tazuna in the middle of them. They were walking calmly, but they had their guards up since Kakashi warned them about a possible Jonin encounter. Suddenly, Kiba sensed someone in the bushes and quickly picked and threw a kunai into it. Baka, stop appealing with kunais. Sakura yelled. I'm not playing. I thought someone was there. Kiba replied and went to check the bushes only to find a small white rabbit. Kiba, you idiot, you almost killed this poor rabbit. Sakura said, and that sent Kakashi thinking, white fur on spring. That's strange. Was unless it was used as substitution technique. Get down! Kakashi yelled. Get down! Kakashi yelled, and everybody hit the deck, with Kakashi dragging Tazuna. Just as he yelled, above them a huge board metal sword flew by their heads and got stuck in a tree. Moments later, on top of the sword appeared a people. He was a tall and noticeably muscular man with pale skin, short, spiky black hair, brown eyes, and small eyebrows. He was wearing bandage like a mask over the both half of his face. Under his mask, he had a relatively narrow jawline and jagged teeth. He wore his forehand protector on the side of his head. What is this? A bunch of kids playing ninja, the shinobi said. Zabuza Momochi, a rank is missing ninja from Hidden Mist, known as the demon of mist, the demon of the mist. Takashi said, preparing to face him in battle. Oh, it looks if it isn't Sharingan no Kasuki. Oh, looks if it isn't copycat ninja Kakashi, the shinobi now identified as Zabuza. Hand me the old man, and you can go. I can't do that. Zabuza Kakashi said and lifted his headband, revealing a fully matured Sharingan in his left eye. I get the Sharingan right being. Eh? I get the Sharingan right in the beginning. I am honored, Zabuza said, revealing his sword and making a few hand seals. He said, a mist technique. The air started becoming thicker, and after a few seconds, the whole area was covered in a thick mist. Kakashi barely managed to see his own hand right in front of him. Team, keep your senses sharp. Zabuza is a master of silent killing technique, Kakashi said, and his entire team shivered. I demand you show yourself face. I demand you show your face, Zabuza, and face me. Sasuke yelled. A Jonin was someone he could try his power on, and once he defeated him, he would be closer to killing his brother. Are you sure? Zabuza asked rhetorically, projecting his voice sounds around the area not to reveal his position. Zabuza started to unleash killer intent, and Sakura started shivering. Sakura couldn't take it anymore and brought his kunai to his neck, preparing to kill himself. Sasuke couldn't take it anymore and brought his kunai to his neck, preparing to kill himself. Relax, Sasuke. I wouldn't let my teammates die, Kakashi said, reassuring his team. Suddenly, Zabuza appeared in the middle of Sasuke, Kiba, and Sakura that were guarding Tazuna. He brought his sword and started a horizontal slash, ready to kill them all. However, Kakashi was fast and impaled Zabuza, revealing him to be a water clone. Another Zabuza appeared behind Kakashi and carved him in half only to Kakashi burst into water. Zabuza, seeing this, suddenly felt sharp metal to his throat. He slowly turned and saw Kakashi with a kunai ready to kill him. However, Kakashi wasn't expecting this Zabuza to be a clone. Seeing this Zabuza in front of him bursted into water, he looked around only to be met with a flare kick to his stomach, sending him crashing into the nearby lake crashing him to the nearby lake. Zabuza surrendered to Kakashi, surprised to Kakashi, and went through a couple of handseals and said, water prison. The water around Kakashi started erupting and circling around him, trapping him. Zabuza stood there with his hand on the water sphere, holding Kakashi in place. Shit! I got caught, Kakashi thought. Everyone take Tazuna and run. His Mizubun cannot go his water clones cannot go too far from the original. Kakashi said his team was in a bad place. He could only hope his backup arrived in time. Zabuza can stand up to me. I am an elite. Sasuke said and dashed forward, heading to the enemy. Zabuza created a few Mizobushin water clone. Sasuke entered in a taijutsu fight with him, but quickly realized it was a bad idea. Sasuke couldn't keep up with Zabuza's speed and strength, and the battle was over quickly when Zabuza gave a strong kick to Sasuke that sent him crashing to the trees hard. Sasuke couldn't even get up and could barely breathe. You should have run when you had the chance. You cannot even scratch me, Zabuza said. The arrogance of that boy got him killed. Zabuza clone picked his sword and went to finish the job. Sakura was shaking. She barely managed to stand up, and Tazuna was already on the floor. His legs gave out. Kiba, seeing Sasuke in danger, ran towards Zabuza. Sasuke maybe Sakura. Sasuke maybe an eh? Sorry, Sasuke may be an idiot and an arrogant bastard, but he couldn't let him to be killed. Kiba arrived near Zabuza, went for punch, but Zabuza simply caught his wrist and with the other hand left Kiba by the neck and started punching him relentlessly. After a few punches, he simply threw him to the ground. Zabuza was making his way to Sasuke, who was still frozen in place. Sakura, who was still frozen in place. Sakura knew she couldn't match Zabuza. She only graduated because of her good chakra control and book smart. All hope seemed lost until Zabuza heard Katon, Dragon no Jutsu, Ryukuno no Jutsu, Dragon Fire Jutsu. Zabuza didn't have the time to dodge as the stream of hot flames come from the woods, completely obliterating the clone. In front of Tasuna was Sakura arrived. Naruto, Hinata, Shino, and Kuronai. Naruto looked around and it didn't look good. Kakashi was trapped inside water prison and Sasuke and Kiba were on the ground injured. Quick, gather Sasuke and Kiba around Tazuna and Sakura, Naruto said, and Kuronai and Hinata quickly picked up both Sasuke and Kiba, regrouped and Tazuna. Summoning Jutsu, Naruto said, slamming his hand on the ground, and in a puff of smoke appeared a small fox with light red fur with 4 tails. You must be our summoner, Naruto-sama. My name is Kagura, a medic fox. The fox said. Nice to meet you. I need your help. Sasuke and Kiba seem to be injured. I need you to help them as much as you can. I will cover you. Naruto said. Fox summons. Where did he get the contract? I need to talk to him if we get out of this. Kakashi thought Kakashi actually already knew Naruto since he sometimes watched Naruto from far away trying to make sure he was safe. After all, Kakashi was one of the prized students of the fourth Hokage. Kage Bushan no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu, Naruto said, and four clones appeared. They went their separate ways, making a spear around Tazuna, Sakura, Sasuke, and Kiba and Kagura. A ninja art, four flame formation, the clone said at the same time. Suddenly, a purple barrier erupted around making sure that Zabuza couldn't get inside. Don't touch the all out, otherwise you will be burned. The barrier will stay up for your protection, Naruto explained. Oh, a genin who knows Fuin Jutsu. Maybe you are better than the rest, Zabuza said, creating couple more water clones. Inside the barrier, both Sakura and Tazuna sighed happily that backup had arrived. Kagura was currently healing them. Sasuke had cracked ribs and ruptured lungs, while Kiva had few bruises and dislocated shoulder. Outside the barrier, first we need to release Kakashi Sensei from the prison. First we need to release Kakashi from the prison. Kurunai said, and her team nodded. The water clones made their way towards Kurunai's team, and one of them said, Kirigaka no Jutsu, a thick mist appeared, blocking the view of everyone. Hinata activated her Byakugan but couldn't see much was the mist was layered with chakra. Naruto activated his Sharingan and expanded his senses, trying to find Zabuza. However, he felt the pressure of someone watching, a presence of someone watching the fight. That person was around tuning skill based on chakra levels. Someone is watching. Since he didn't help Tazuna, I can only assume he is with Zabuza. Naruto thought and discreetly used hand sealing, warned his team about another shinobi watching. Great breakthrough, Naruto and Hinata said at the same time. They breathed in air and sent a strong gust of wind. Pushed the mist away from Zabuza for one. Each member of Team 8 disbanded and engaged the clones. Naruto quickly destroyed Zabuza's clone with a fireball, and taking his opportunity, he took a kunai, channeling it with lightning chakra. He threw it at the wood with threw it at the woods with extreme speed. The shinobi who was watching didn't suspect that and didn't have the time to react. And the kunai embedded deeply on his shoulder. The shinobi, seeing he was caught, jumped into the fight and took his side by Zabuza. How did you know about Haku? Zabuza said, surprised that they found Haku. She was rather skilled in stealth. Haku is a girl. I cannot sense her as a girl even in canon. Oh, the writer wants Haku to be a girl. So from now on, Haku is a girl. It doesn't matter. Let's end it now, Zabuza said, and Haku went through a few handsills, slamming her feet into the lake. As she said, thousand needles of death. and sent 1,000 water needles to our team 8. Hinata, Naruto said, and above a warp. Hi, she replied and jumped in front of her team and started spinning. She started releasing chakra from all of her chakra points. Heavenly spin, she said, and a blue dome of chakra appeared around her, deflecting all needles. Looks like I will have to start training my team seriously, thought Kakashi. Looks like I will have to train my team seriously, thought Kakashi. He was infusing his lungs with chakra, trying to gain as much time as he could. Team 8 quickly disbanded of the water clones. Naruto and Hinata went through a few handshakes and they said, Dragon Fire Jutsu. Naruto said. Great breakthrough, Hinata said. The Naruto fire attack combined with Hinata's wind attack, and the result was a massive stream of fire that went quickly towards Zabuza. Haku didn't have enough time to use water jutsu because of her injured shoulder. Both of them jumped away, making Zabuza release his hold of the water prison, freeing Kakashi. Kakashi tried to regain his breath as he jumped towards Team 8. Thanks, Kakashi said, and crouched. Haku, we are leaving, Zabuza said, and shushed away with Haku. He knew he couldn't stand a chance. He was up against Yuhi Kuronai, Konoha's Genjutsu mistress, but also the blonde kid and the Hyuga girl seemed good, and besides that, Kakashi was now free. Naruto dropped the barrier and went to check up on his injured teammates. How is everyone? Naruto asked, and Kaguro, who was finishing healing Kiba, Sakura was surprised how strong Naruto and Hinata were and how they worked well together. I already healed them. Their injuries weren't life-threatening this time, Kaguro said, pointing to Sasuke. Needs to take pointing to Sasuke, needs to take it easy for a few days. He had a ruptured lung. He need to take it easy for a few days. He had a ruptured lung. Tazuna, take us to your house. Zabuza will be back and we need to be prepared, Kakashi said, and they left with Kuronai carrying Sasuke as he couldn't make any effort and was still unconscious. Sasuke and left with Kuronai carrying Sasuke. Oh, Kuronai was carrying Sasuke. Tazuna's house. A few miles down the road, and Team 7 and Team 8 arrived with Tazuna at his home. The house itself was near the ocean and seemed to be a simple wooden house. Tazuna lead the shinobis inside. Tsunami, I am home, Tazuna said happily that finally got home. Father, Tsunami said, hugging him. I am relieved that you are all right. Tsunami was a beautiful woman. She had mid black, dark blue hair and black eyes. She wore pink shirt with red sleeves and dark blue skirt. It is thanks to this shinobi they saved me, Tazuna said. The tsunami approached his protector detail and bowed, saying, Thank you for protecting my father, Shinobi Sama. You are welcome to our house. We appreciate it. Is there any way we can lay two of my students who got injured in a fight? Kakashi asked. Tsunami nodded and lead the journey into the room upstairs. Sakura, Kakashi said, getting her attention. Tomorrow we will start training more seriously. We need to be prepared for when Zabuza returns. Since Naruto injured his teammate, it will be a few days until he is ready. How can a little bit of training is going? How can a little bit of training going to help against Jonin? Sakura asked, wondering is her sensei was if her is her sensei was trying to kill her. Sakura, who was it that saved us? Kakashi asked historically. If I remember correctly, the Genin of Team 8 actually put up a fight against Zabuza, while Kiba and Sasuke were simply harmed away. Kakashi explained, making Kuranai's mark inwardly. Yeah, obviously you're gonna smirk if your Genin can go up against a Jonin and a Chunin. Obviously you're gonna smirk. Fine, but I still don't understand how a few days will help us. Sakura kept pressing. She's a useless trash bag. Anyways, any training is good for you. If you have to face Zabuza, at least let's raise the odd even if slightly, Kakashi said, to which Sakura finally nodded. Kakashi get up and approached Naruto, who was chatting with his team. Naruto, Kakashi said, getting Naruto's attention. How do you know my name? Naruto asked. You may not know, but I actually watched over you sometimes when you were around 4 years old. Kakashi said. Inu, dog. Naruto asks, remembering an Anbu with the dog marks, making sometimes helping him with the mob problem before he met his father, and the whole training began. That I am, he replied, giving him a traditional eye smile. Come, and Kakashi said, placing his hand on his shoulder. We need to talk privately. Naruto nodded, and they both shushed to outside of the house into the nearby woods. Naruto and Kakashi in the woods. Kakashi and Naruto arrived in the woods by the traditional leaf shishuin that Kakashi used. That shishuin is that really starting to get old. That shishuin is really getting old. Why don't you use an elemental Shishuin? Naruto asks. Pretty much all of Konoha always used the leaf Shishuin, and while it got the job done, it was, for lack of better word, lame. Kakashi raised an eyebrow to what Naruto just asked. Can you do the Shishuin? He asked, to which Naruto nodded and used his lightning Shishuin to teleport to a few meters away. Kakashi was actually surprised to see a Genin use the Shishuin no Jutsu, much less an elemental version. I see you can, Kakashi started, and you, by the looks of it, you already have the lightning element master. How? Studied the man for a moment, even though he helped him several times when he was young. People tend to change after a few seconds. People tend to change. After a few seconds, he found no deception. He decided to answer him. I have been training myself since I was 5 years old, Naruto replied, and Kakashi was actually surprised to see someone without the clan training in a such young age. However, he quickly remembered his burden, and he needed to be strong in all the hate withstand to he needed to be strong to withstand all the hate of his villagers. I see. Maybe I can teach you a few lightning jutsu since my affinity is the same, but we are getting off topic. Kakashi started. How can you summon foxes? Kakashi asked. Naruto froze, wondering if he should tell him the truth about the Kyuubi. There are many people that tried to get close to Naruto to finish him off. However, he decided he should trust him. It was a gift from the Kyuubi, Naruto said, making Kakashi glare at him. Suddenly, the air between the two dropped a few degrees. Naruto, Kakashi started in a very serious tone. However, Naruto didn't even flinch. He was already used to it from the villagers and simply shrugged it off. The Kyuubi attacked our village and almost destroyed it. You cannot trust him. Naruto, hearing this, really started cursing his luck. It was always the same. Every time he met someone and told about the Kyuubi, everyone told him that he couldn't trust him. Kakashi-san, the Kyuubi was being controlled by the Sharingan and was forced to attack the village. It wasn't his fault, Naruto said, and Kakashi's visible eye widened. Only Uchiha Madara managed to control the Kyuubi, and he was long dead. Kakashi studied Naruto for any signs of life but found none. However, he decided that he should talk to the Hokage about this new development. Better make sure. I will trust you, but keep in mind that foxes are very cunning. Kakashi said. Kakashi-san, remember that if it weren't for the medical fox I summoned, Sasuke probably wouldn't have made it. So Naruto started and Kakashi nodded, saying it was probably true. You remember me for the fourth, always seeing good in everyone. You remember me for the fourth, always seeing good in you. Remind me of the fourth, always seeing good in everyone, Kakashi said, reminiscing about his gaining days with he always was a fool until his best friend died to save him. Fourth, Naruto asked, wondering how Kakashi knew him until it finally clicked. On of the day Naruto was wandering through the Namikaze compound, he found a picture of his father's Kenin team. There was a silver-haired boy with marks covering bottom half of his face, a pretty girl with brown hair and two red marks on each cheek, and last a boy with black spiky hair, black eyes, and orange goggles. Naruto turned the picture, and it said Namikaze Minato Hatake Kakashi Inuzuka Rin Uchiha Obito. Ah! Naruto yelled and making Kakashi jump. I remember now. You were on my father's Kenin team with Rin and Obito, right? He asked. That's right. Your father, Kakashi said, startling. That's right. Your father is Naruto. Kakashi said, startling. Naruto was the son of the fourth Hokage. How could he be so blind? For the love of God, he is pretty much a carbon copy of him. What? Kakashi didn't know that. How the hell has Konoha been so blind? He could have been there for his. He should have been there for his senses son. He should have done more. Oh shit, Naruto said, knowing that he let the part slip out. Naruto started panicking on the inside. It wasn't supposed to. He wasn't supposed to reveal it. Kakashi-san, you can tell anyone until I reveal it. Naruto said, "Don't worry. I know very well why you can't say it right now," Kakashi said, easing the boy's worries, "and I am sorry. I should have been there for you. If I had known, I could have taken you in," Kakashi said with his head down. "Don't worry about it. It wasn't so bad. If you had taken me in, I wouldn't have met Hinata-chan," Naruto said. Kakashi perked up and asked, "Hinata-chan?" Hinata's father disowned her from the Hyuga clan when she was 8 years old because she was weak, and since then she has been living with me. Besides, she is my girlfriend, Naruto explained, and Kakashi actually broke out in a fit of giggles. If you are thinking what I am thinking you are, I am going to hurt you. Naruto said, breaking Kakashi's off his perverted thought. Okay, okay, but she will be stunning girl in a couple of years. You did well, snatching her while young, Kakashi said, and Naruto glared with each of his glared, to which the Jonin simply rubbed his hair. Actually, I was wondering if I could tell you about, if you could tell me about my parents, Naruto asked sillily. I asked Hokage or the old man Hokage, but he never had really prolonged connection with them. Of course, I knew them very well from start. I can tell you that you adopted your mother's obsession of ramen, Kakashi said, laughing and getting a smile from Naruto. And so they talked for a few hours. Kakashi told everything he knew about them, which was mostly about his father, since he was since him were better than his father, since he knew him better than his mother. They talked, and the hours were passing by without either of them realizing it, until the sky was already dark. Well, Naruto, I think it is time we get back. It is already getting dark. Kakashi said, "Thank you for telling me about them, Ni-san, brother." Naruto said, he's feeling like he bonded with Kakashi. After all, since Kakashi's father died, he grew close to his sensei. The fourth was the closest thing he had for a father. Nisan, you say? Okay, let's go, Ototo, younger brother, Kakashi said, ruffling his hair and leaving the forest with him. Ototo. The next day after the teams arrived, he found everyone quietly enjoying breakfast prepared by Tsunami. They were eating until Kakashi decided to break the ice and explained a few things. Everyone, Kakashi said, gathering everyone's attention. After this, we are going to train as I explained to Sakura yesterday. Zabuza will be back and probably bring some help, so we need to be ready. We will alter between protecting Tazuna at the bridge and protecting his family and training. Kakashi explained, and everybody nodded. They continued eating for a few minutes until everyone was finished. Sasuke was getting better from his injuries and could walk. However, he still couldn't do anything too physical, stressful to his body. Sakura, Sasuke, Kiba, Naruto, and Hinata will come with me to training, while Kuronai and Shino stay and protect Tsunami and Inari. After the training, I will take some of you to the bridge to protect Tazuna. Everybody agree? Kakashi asked, and everyone nodded. After a few minutes later, Kakashi's team, approached by Sasuke and Kiba, left, uh, accompanied by Sasuke and Kiba, left the house for training, in the woods for training. Okay, now we will train chakra control. Kakashi said, "Chakra control?" Sakura asked. "Yes, we will. We all know how to call upon chakra. However, you cannot know how to properly use and manage it. By doing this exercise, you will be able to last longer in a fight and learn new jutsus faster." Kakashi explained, and Naruto wondered what type of exercise it would be. "Now I will be climbing trees," Kakashi said, and Naruto's sweat dropped. "Kakashi Nisan, don't tell me you brought your team into a A rank mission without even teaching them proper chakra control," Naruto asks, and Kakashi actually felt ashamed for not teaching more personal skills. Don't sweat it, dope. We already know how to climb trees. Sasuke said, and Sakura agreed. Naruto just shook his head, that Sasuke didn't understand the point of the exercise. Actually, I focused more on teamwork exercise. You know how Sasuke and Kiba act. They are both brash and tend to jump into a situation without thinking. Kakashi said, and both Sasuke and Kiba scowled. Wait, you called Kakashi Sensei Nissan? I thought you had no one. Sakura asked. He is not my brother by blood, but we are both orphans, and we both look at the same person as our father. We both look at the same person as our father. Naruto explained, and Hinata raised an eyebrow. She knew who Naruto's father was, which means that Kakashi must have been close to the fourth. Enough chit chat. What I want you to do is focus your chakra in the bottom of your feet and walk up the tree. When you can walk to the top two times in a row while moving, Kakashi explained. What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean walk up the tree? Sakura asked in all her infinite wisdom. Like this, Naruto said, and started walking towards a tree. When he arrived near on, he simply placed a foot on it, strung, and started walking up. Everyone in Team 7 minus Kakashi was shocked seeing Naruto walk vertically. Oh, Naruto, you already know this chakra exercise very well. Kakashi and Sakura see his teeth. Eh? Oh, Naruto, you already know this chakra exercise very well. Kakashi and Kiva and Sasuke seemed his teeth. Though, how did you do that? I demand you teach me. Sasuke and Naruto. Sasuke said, and Naruto just ignored him. He already knew Sasuke all too well from the academy. Sasuke believed everyone should be grateful that he allowed them to breathe. Didn't you hear me? Didn't you hear your sensei? Naruto asked rhetorically. You need to channel chakra to your feet and run up the tree. Exactly. Take these kunais to mark your progression. Hinata, I assume you already know how to do this, Kakashi asked, and Hinata nodded. Hinata-chan, watch me. Hinata-chan, watch me. I will get this down in 1 hour, Kiba said, bragging to her. Kiba, I already told you that I am with Naruto-kun. If you opened your eyes, you would see that there are other girls that may like you. Hinata said that, and Kiba forward. Maybe she was right. Thought maybe she was right. Team, get started. Naruto, Hinata, you are coming with me to the bridge, Kakashi said, and they nodded and started walking to the bridge to protect Tazuna. You never know if Zabuza would try a sneak attack at the bridge. Everyone in the bridge was peacefully working. It was a bright sunny day, and the air itself was rather warm due to the ocean breeze. Kakashi was reading his traditional orange book and giggling like a crazy person. Naruto's sweat dropped when he saw him pull out that book. Hinata was simply leaning in the bridge, watching the ocean, and Naruto appeared to be working on something. Kakashi raised an eyebrow and decided to know what he was doing. Hey, Ototo, what are you doing? Kakashi asked, getting Naruto's attention. The blonde had both hands palms slightly apart of each other, and he appeared to channel lightning, radiant lightning chakra between them. I was working on a jutsu. Jutsu I am creating. If it works, I will. It will pack quite a bang. It will pack quite a bang. Naruto said, grinning, and Kakashi raised an eyebrow. Naruto reminded him of himself when he was young. After all, he graduated as Jonin when he was 13 years old, and he already graduated and was a genin when he was 13 and already created his own jutsu. He graduated. There was a misspelling here. That's not easy, Kakashi said. You will never know until I try. Replied. Naruto decided to take a break and help in the bridge. Hey Tazuna, Naruto yelled, getting the old man's attention. I am tired of doing nothing. Can I help? Naruto asked. The more the merrier. Tazuna replied. But before he could continue, Naruto placed his finger in a cross sign and said, Kagebusha no Jutsu, Shadowgun Jutsu, and out came around 100 clones. Kakashi's eyes widened since the number of clones the blonde could do. Nahinata just shrugged it off as it was a normal scenery when they were training. Tazuna, tell me. Okay, Tazuna, tell them what to do. Naruto said, and Tazuna just nodded dumbly. Naruto, how can you make so many? Kakashi asked, all in shock. Effect of having a Jinjuriki is that you develop massive chakra reserve. Naruto said, and Kakashi leered at him, pointing to Hinata who was nearby. Don't worry, she already knows everything about me, including my legacy. Naruto explained, and Kakashi sighed. The arc on the bridge went extremely well with the help of Naruto's shadow clones. If he continued helping, the bridge should be done in 2 weeks. Later that day, at Tazuna's house, the group sat down to eat dinner as a young boy came in and shouted a disgusting look at the group of ninjas before declaring how they were all stupid for facing Gato and were not just going to die, while Naruto angrily refused was the case. What would you know about pain? I bet you all live sheltered lives in the ninja village. Of course, you don't know what suffering is. The boy yelled after Naruto had denied what they were doing was fault. So what? Things are bad, but you know what? I had it much worse. You still have a mother who loves you and a grandfather, a house to keep you warm and food every night. You don't know what it's like to be hated in your own village for something that is out of your control. You don't know what it's like to be beaten and kicked out of shops and forced to go through garbage for food. You think your life is bad, fine, but don't just sit around and mourn about it. Do something about it. Fight back. Don't be a coward. Kakashi Sensei, going out to clear my head. And with that, Naruto stormed out of the front door, and Hinata got up and quickly followed him. Kakashi Sensei, life couldn't have been that bad. He has been lying to get attention. Sakura asked. No, Sakura, everything he said was true. Naruto was kicked out of the orphanage at the age of 4 and lived on the streets for months before I found him and took him to the Hokage. The Hokage gave Naruto an apartment, but he had to learn everything by himself. and was constantly being beaten and kicked out of stores, and that is what worn down vision. That is the watered down version. Kakashi said, shocking the group in the room. Even Hinata, she was expelled from her own clan when she was 8 years old because her father deemed her too weak and unworthy of being the heiress of the Hiva clan, but luckily they found each other, Kakashi said, and everyone started looking at them in a new light. They were brave kids that didn't back down. Tazuna's house roof. Naruto stormed out of the house and made his way to the roof to gaze upon the dark sky. He needed to forget his previous argument with the spoiled kid. A few moments later, Naruto saw Hinata approach but said nothing. Hinata made her way towards Naruto and sat beside him, resting her head on his shoulder. Neither of them said anything. Continued to look at the stars in comfortable silence until Hinata decided to break the ice. You really shouldn't blame him. He is just naive. She said, trying to ease Naruto. It's just we all suffer. Maybe me being a Jinchuriki, you getting expelled from your family, and even Sasuke getting his whole clan killed by his own brother. Compared to us, he has a good life. Naruto replied, it is true, we suffer, but not everyone has the strength to move on and forget the pain. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't probably still be the same. Would be the same shy, weak girl I was. You were the one that gave me strength. Look at Sasuke. He was he is pain drove to become obsessed by revenge. Hinata said, "You are unique." Naruto-kun, Hinata continued. People that get to know you will pull strength from you. You are my beacon of hope. You just need to be it for this kid too, she said. I will do my best, Hinata-chan, he replied with a smile, pulling her closer. Now that I think about it, our lives, you told me to go out on a date. You never told me you never asked me out on a date, she said. Naruto was caught by surprise by this, but she had a point. In a relationship, it's usual for a couple to go on a date. I never really thought about it, but it wouldn't be a bad idea. We could use the time we have here for a away from hateful glares from Konoha. However, tomorrow I take to dinner. Naruto replied with a smirk. I would love to, she said, giving a kiss on the cheek and dragging him inside as Naruto calmed down. Next day, 7 p.m. The next day after they set up their date went by normally. Everyone trained with Kakashi and Kuranai. However, both Naruto and Hinata trained away from them since they were more advanced. Today, the change of watching Tazuna Breeze fallen on Kuranai with Team 7, and so they board was an understatement. bored was an understatement. They were bored. To say that they were bored was an understatement. Sasuke actually seemed ready to kill and killing spree to go on a killing spree just to pass the time. He wanted to train, but he got stuck with watching Tazuna, a few workers, and crap ton of Naruto's clones working on the bridge. Oh, he's still using Shadowlands to help out. Nice guy. Sasuke sinks his teeth when he arrived at the bridge and saw all the clones Naruto did. The power should belong to him since he needed that to avenge his clan. It doesn't matter. Only an Uchiha can defeat an Uchiha. Sasuke thought only if he knew. Naruto is a goddamn Uchiha, an elite Uchiha. Currently, we found Naruto and Hinata getting ready to go on their first date. They asked for permission to Kakashi and Kuronai since they were on a mission. Neither of them had proper clothes other than their shinobi attire. The only difference was that they left their headband at home, signifying that they were off service. If only could call it that. If one could call it that. They walked through the town, deciding on where to eat. When they arrived at the center of the town, both of them were shocked. This town was poor. There was people asking for jobs, kids living on the outside, and even the resources the market had to sell were scarce and were very poor quality. Gato had pretty much destroyed this small town. At least if this mission was successful then and Tazuna managed to finish the bridge they would be able to recover from this. Not how they decided to spend their first date, not exactly how they imagined to spend their first date, but they already loved each other and this date wasn't much. They were walking, watching the various shops and restaurants, trying to pick a good place where when they heard some yelling in the middle of street. Quick, old man, we already told you. You need to pay up. One of the Gatos men said there were two guys trying to collect payment from a shop owner who was on the ground trying to looking terrified. But I already paid this month. The owner replied. Boss said that you send more merchandise for shipping, so you need to. Boss said that you sent more merchandise for shipping, so you need to pay more tax this month. He said if you can't pay, you will take your wife as payment. He considered and started physical assault on the man. Naruto and Hinata, seeing this, jumped in action. In a swift motion, they on punches and a few kicks. Gato's men were running away, bruised and bleeding, wondering how kids managed to do this. Summoning jutsu. Naruto said, and in a puff of smoke appeared a small on-tailed black fox. His name was Koifu, and he was a spy fox that exactly skilled in stealth and information gathering. What do you need, Naruto? Koifu asked. I need you to follow those two men and find where Gato's base is and other information you can. Naruto explained, and the fox dashed out of sight. Naruto turned to Hinata. Shall we continue? He asked, excited, extending his right arm, which Hinata took and pulled him closer. Finally deciding where to eat, they both entered and found a place where welcoming and the place was welcoming and warm. It wasn't a fancy restaurant, but they didn't care for that. During their lunch, they tried to talk. However, they already knew everything about each other. It was a rather strange date as by in silence, so they simply ate in comfortable silence. When they left, Naruto decided it was still early, so he decided to drag Hinata to a local cinema and watch something. A couple of hours later, they arrived at Tazuna's house. Their date didn't go that well, but they didn't care. After all, the point of the date was to spend some time together. Since the mission started, it was neither training was either training or guarding Tazuna. 1 week later, 1 week had passed, and the teams were preparing for the showdowns at the bridge. It was terrifying sight for any civilian to see a shinobi getting ready for a fight. The ground was filled with ordinary kunais, shurikens, senbons, flash tags, explosive tags, ninja wire, giant shurikens, and even Naruto's sword was out of the seal scroll. He decided to carry it on his back since he could need it at any time. Everyone ready? Kakashi asked, and everyone nodded. The fox Naruto had sent to gather information and spy on Gato paid off. The fox found out that Zabuza had attacked today since Zabuza would attack today since Haku was already healed and her shoulder was healed from her shoulder wound, as was Zabuza from chakra exhaustion. Since Gato plans to betray Zabuza when the fight is over, he may well send someone here. May send someone here. If he does, he send they probably wouldn't be shinobi, Kakashi said, and brought his hand to his chin and started pondering how to start back 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 speaking in mind that he would face Zabuza and Haku. How would he fight? Oh, nice. How about we leave Sakura, Hinata, and Kiba here? Sakura, Hinata, and Kiba here, since they have good taijutsu and they can easily take out any thug. Gato sends the rest will go out to the bridge. I can engage on Haku with Sasuke if necessary. Kakashi Sensei and Kuranai can take Zabuza. Kakashi Sensei and Zabuza can take Kakashi Sensei and Kakashi Sensei and Kuranai Sensei can take Zabuza, while Shino provided overall support and protecting the clan. Naruto suggested. Kakashi pondered. Shino will be a tight spot if either Zabuza or Haku split past us and rush the target. Kakashi pointed out. Naruto concerning this scenery, I can put some barrier as last time. Besides, Shino can collect his bugs from inside, control his bugs from the inside, right? Naruto asked. Shino nodded. It is good. Well then, everyone stick to the plan. Tazuna, are you ready? Kakashi asked, and Tazuna weakly nodded. After all, Tazuna would be a bait to draw them out. Everyone started moving out, and before they left, Naruto gave Hinata a brief kiss while rapping, whispering, "Good luck. If you need me here, use the ring." And Hinata nodded. On the bridge, Tazuna was approaching the bridge, gathered by Kakashi, Kuronai, Sasuke, and Shino. They entered the bridge, and there was already a mist in the air. Naruto decided to activate his Sharingan while placing an usual genjutsu on it. They made their way to the bridge, making as light as possible, as silent as possible. Well, everyone minus Tazuna, who was sweating bullets and breathing hard just from fear itself. Naruto using his Sharingan could see glimpses of two chakra signature. They are already here, both Zabuza and Haku, just about 100 meters away. Naruto said, and everyone stood in their guard. How do you know? Kakashi asked. After all, Kakashi's senses ability weren't that good, and he was considering on summoning his dogs. I will tell you later. Can't tell with Sasuke here. Can't tell you here. Tell you with Sasuke here. Naruto whispered to his ear, and Kakashi nodded. And now it isn't the time for chit chat. They continued walking until they stood a few meters away from each other. Kakashi, we meet again. I will enjoy the bounty on your head. Zabuza in a disarray voice. So many places to choose from. I can split you from throat, stab you in the heart, destroy your lungs, burst your kidney, or break your spine. Zabuza continued saying while unleashing a lot of killer intent. Kakashi, Kuranai, and Naruto seemed immune to it, while Shino and Sasuke were sweating and Tazuna was already on the ground as his legs gave out. Naruto saw Zabuza move out of his spot, but he didn't have time to warn his team. He picked up his sword and jumped in front of Kuranai, blocking his Koroboshushi, his giant biggest sword. You are very good kind to. You are very good, kid, to manage to find me. Zabuza said. Not many people manage to keep their head cool enough to think in this situation. Sometimes even Jonins would get caught. If it weren't for Naruto, Kuronai would already be dead. Say goodbye to your miss, Zabuza, Naruto said, going through a few handsills and unleashing a gust of wind that blew the mist away, gathering from Zabuza. I really hate wind users, Zabuza said, shouldering his sword and getting ready for attack. As he planned everyone to take their positions. As we planned, take everyone take your position. Kakashi ordered. Why should the dove fight while me and Elite will stand and watch? Sasuke said in a typical arrogant tone. Now it can it now isn't the time. Genin, Kakashi said in a very serious tone, making Sasuke gulp. Oh, you will stay with Tazuna outside the barrier and only jump in if Naruto needs. Are we understand? Are we understood? Kakashi asked and Sasuke nodded. Get ready, Kakashi said. Tazuna retreated with Shino. Naruto made a four shadow clones that performed a square around them and said, "Ninja art, four flames formation," and erupted a purple barrier with Tazuna and Shino inside and Sasuke on the outside. Kakashi and Kuranai got closer, preparing to fight Zabuza, and Naruto, with his sword on the hand, prepared to face Haku. Zabuza said a few water clones surround Kakashi, Kuranai, and Naruto. Naruto turned to Kakashi and he gave him a nod. Naruto disappeared in a burst of speed, and 1 second later, every single clone bursted in order. Looks like you found your rival in speed, wouldn't you say, Haku? Zabuza said. It looks like that. Haku replied as she dashed towards Naruto. Naruto seeing his gapped in sword to a trigger, tightened, gripped in sword tighter and started running towards Haku. They met roughly at halfway and started in exchanging a few blows, neither of them gaining advantage. Naruto would easily block every single attack. However, he didn't manage to land anything either. They found themselves in a standstill. Naruto was blocking Haku's kunais with his sword. Haku, seeing that he had no hand occupied, starting had on hand occupied, starting going through one hand, the hand seal, and on for finishing said, flying water needles of death, and immediately threw 1,000 water needles from her clones of water and started raining for Naruto. Naruto, seeing this view, knew he hadn't any opportunity to avoid it, and decided to test his new eyes and the power he learned to use. He shifted his eyes into the Mongekyo and said, "Kamui, might of the gods." Naruto made his body intangible, and everyone was in awe as he faced through as face as fair every single needle passed through Naruto's body, exiting in the opposite side. "It's not possible," Haku said. "You aren't a Bushin. I can feel your chakra, and your sword is pressing against my kunai. Bushin, my kunai," she explained. And well, that one my most powerful jutsu, Naruto said, smirking. He used this moment of distraction and gave a powerful kick to Haku's chest that sent her flying and crashing into the ground near Zabuza. Zabuza was still wounded. Wondering how the kid managed to do that and also beat Haku in speed. "You are really good for a genin," Zabuza said. Kakashi laughed and said, smirking, "Zabuza, what if I told you that Naruto here is actually the dead last?" Zabuza's eyes widened. The brat couldn't possibly be the dead last. That or Konoha has been seriously training their genins. "Zabuza, before he began our real fight, I have a proposal for you," Naruto said, and Zabuza raised an eyebrow. "What do you want?" Zabuza said, wondering what the kid meant. "I heard that Gato plans to betray you once you get the job done. He plans to kill you and Haku once you kill Tazuna, so he doesn't have to pay you. So how about we join forces and kill Gato in return, and you can come back with us to the lake?" Naruto explained, and everyone raised an eyebrow. "Naruto, you can just offer a rogue ninja to a rogue ninja like that. Cannot invite a rogue ninja like that," Kakashi said. "Kid, you are crazy. What makes you think I would join the leaf?" Zabuza asked. "I bet you are tired of all the running and having to keep looking for missions just to live. And I know the old man well enough. Both of you can be great assets to the leaf. Zabuza is one of the seven swordmen. Haku has the ice release," Naruto said, and slightly Zabuza agreed. Silently Zabuza agreed. Both of them were tired of of the constant running, and they wanted a place to settle down. How do you know about my bloodline?" Haku said. She didn't realize it last time they faced each other. Didn't reveal it. Did you really think you would just train while apart? Information is half of the battle. So I sent a fox to spy on Gato's warehouse, and he found you training. Naruto explained, and they both scoffed. Jonin getting spied on without realizing it. Being that as it may, but I can still have a repercussion, repetition, and in my place it is all I have. In my place, this is all I have. We will fight, and if Gato appears to finish me off, then we join forces, and then I will decide if we go to the leaf. Zabuza said, and Naruto nodded. If Naruto was lying, to which Zabuza wouldn't know, Zabuza wouldn't be destroying his reputation by betraying his client. Immediately, Haku started going through hand seals and said, "Demon eyes, mirrors." All around Naruto, ice mirrors started forcing trap. He focused forming, trapping him in an ice dome. Haku walked to one of the ice mirrors and simply entered in the mirror itself, as she became nothing more than a reflection. I need a break, so wait a minute. Inside the demon, Naruto could see that Kakashi and Kurenai were already engaging Zabuza. Even for both of them, Zabuza was no pushover. Naruto needed to gather more with his fight in order to help them out. Also Sasuke was already, and he knew that if they needed help, he would jump in. Uchiha pride and all. Funny, Naruto was an Uchiha, but even though he had pride in his blood, he was never arrogant of his powers. Naruto focused on his battle and noticed that every mirror around him had Haku's reflection in it. He noticed that each Haku was holding three Senbons in each hand, getting ready to attack. Naruto's eyes widened when he realized that Haku was much faster now. If he didn't have the Sharingan to track her movement, we wouldn't need to restock to high. He would have to resort to high level attacks. Haku looked at Naruto surprised. "You are the first person to ever dodge my attack when they are trapped in this jutsu." Naruto simply shrugged. Haku continued her relentless assault, relentless attack, switching from mirrors to mirrors while launching countless senbons to Naruto. This went for a few moments. Naruto would simply dodge all senbons without even needing his Kamui. "How are you doing? How are you dodging my attacks?" Haku yelled, finally losing her cool. "You can't win. This jutsu sends a lot of chakra, and you are already getting low." Naruto simply said, "Shut up!" Haku yelled and charged at Naruto as fast as she could, but Naruto's Sharingan could still follow her perfectly and saw her every single muscle movement in slow motion as she charged. Naruto took the opportunity and grabbed her by the hand and threw her into the mirrors. Suddenly, near where Haku landed, a kunai was an kunai with an explosion tag. The explosion tag and Haku barred herself from the impact, not getting too much damage. Naruto looked to see who threw the kunai and found Sasuke inside the dome. "What are you doing here?" Naruto asked. "I figured a dope like you would need help," Sasuke said with his trademark arrogant smirk. Haku took this opportunity and threw a few senbons to Sasuke. Naruto noticed the senbons incoming towards Sasuke. Naruto didn't have much time to reach him, so Sasuke got hit by the senbons and fell limp on the ground. Naruto's eyes widened and he ran towards him. Naruto looked at him and noticed that the senbons hit his neck and in a non-vital area. And using his Sharingan, he noticed that his chakra network was still active, so Sasuke was probably in a death-like state. Naruto decided to finish the battle and said, "Katon Koko no Jutsu." great fireball jutsu and launched a fireball into one of the mirrors, seeing if it would be enough. To his surprise, the fireball impacted the mirror, but it remained there, remained there as if nothing happened. You cannot defeat my technique with such a low-level attack, Haku said. Then let's take this up a notch, Naruto said, and made a few Kagebushon and both went through a few hand seals. Great fireball jutsu, Naruto said. Great breakthrough, the Naruto's clone said. The combination of a B rank Kaiten Jutsu powered by the wind style resulted in a big fire dragon rocketing towards the mirrors. Haku tried to pumping more chakra to his technique, but it wasn't enough. The pressure of the dragon corrupted with the temperature heat made the ice dome expand, sending Haku crashing hard onto the ground in pain. With Bushen and Basen and her marks broke. Forgive me, Zabuza, I cannot defeat this boy, Haku thought, coughing a bit of blood. Naruto approached Haku, still wearing worry as she still would attack. Naruto made a few hand seal and said, Chakra seal. Placing his hand on Haku, he blocked her chakra and tied her up with ninja wire. He went to see how the others' battle was going. Outside the ice dome few minutes earlier, Kakashi and Kuronai were about to face Zabuza. Kakashi pulled up his headband, revealing his Sharingan. Sharingan again. Be proud, Zabuza. You are the first enemy to see it twice. Kakashi said it and started going through hand seals. Great fireball jutsu, Kakashi said, and a great fireball to and sent the fireballs towards Zabuza. Zabuza didn't even budge. He went through hand seal form of his own and said water wall and created a water wall that blocked the fireball created a cloud of steam all around. Kakashi ran forward and engaged Zabuza on taijutsu. Wrong move, as Zabuza was stronger due to being used to using his big board sword. Kakashi sent a few low kicks, making Zabuza jump. Kakashi tried to capitalize on this with a punch, but Zabuza blocked it. Zabuza jumped back and went just in time to block a barrage of shuriken sent by Kuronai. Good water dragon, Zabuza said, and sent a big water dragon towards Kuronai. She got caught in the ground and was sent crashing into the wall hard, disabling her momentarily. Kuronai, Kakashi yelled and made his toward her to check on her condition. When he arrived near her, she was regaining consciousness. They made up a battle plan that would end Zabuza when they heard an explosion coming from the ice dome. Need help? Need help? Naruto asked, and which everyone slightly went. His massive chakra reserves weren't even slightly spent. He has plentiful here. Kuronai got hit. Let her rest for a bit while she prepares. Kakashi said, and Naruto started sneaking into the ground, sinking into the ground. How many jutsu does he know? He's a fresh genin, and so far I already saw big cartoon and fuing jutsu, and now a low level datun art style. Kakashi thought some things were not out of place, something was out of place. Where was out of place? Zabuza had his guard up. guard up if no one no on if no thing he knew if one thing he knew was not to underestimate the blonde kid. He managed to easily defeat Haku. Suddenly he felt a presence behind him and turned. He was too slow. Naruto emerged from the bag just behind Zabuza, and in his hand was a blue chakra ball. Rasengan! Naruto said, slamming the blue consonant ball of chakra into Zabuza until he burst into water. Shit, water clone. Naruto thought and turned to see Zabuza with his sword ready to chop him in half. This is the end, Zabuza said, and brought his sword for an horizontal slash to chop Naruto in half. Naruto! Kakashi yelled. Naruto activated once again his Kamui. He got to admit it was a kick-ass power that most likely confused the enemy to no end. Zabuza was watching as his sword was piercing through Naruto and leaving his body without a scratch. When the sword left him, Naruto gave Zabuza an uppercut and jumped back near Kakashi. Zabuza regained his balance. What the hell is that attack? Zabuza asked, getting pissed off. He never saw anything like that. That is for me to know and for you to find out, Naruto said smugly, making Zabuza even more pissed off. Suddenly a tree started grounding behind Zabuza, trapping him with its branches. Imagine tree binding death. Kuronai said, making the tree grow and snaring Zabuza in place without chance to escape. You are too dangerous to be left alive. What am I about to show you is my own personal jutsu, Kakashi said and started gathering a lot of chakra in his right hand. The chakra channeled into the lightning until he started producing a loud sound. Kakashi dashed forward instantly to end Zabuza's life. 1,000 birds, Chidori. He was about to smash it against Zabuza's when he heard, "Look at that! The demon defeated by a punk," some man said in the far side of the bridge. Kakashi stopped his assault, dispelling his Chidori, and said, "Gato," with disgust. "What are you doing here, Gato?" Zabuza asked, getting the impression that the blonde kid was telling the truth. "I am here to kill you. You are simply too expensive when I can buy a few thugs that get the job done," Gato said, and smirking, getting he understood. Suddenly, by 50 thugs, surrounded by 50 thugs, all equipped with weapons. Release me. We are no longer enemies." "You are right, kid," Zabuza said, and Kurenai left her illusion down. Zabuza picked up his sword and was about to rush into Gato when Naruto placed a hand in front of him, making Zabuza confused. "I want to try out the new jutsu I have been developing," Naruto said. "Hey, old man, Tazuna, how are your supplies to finish the bridge?" Naruto asks. "I got plenty. Why do you ask?" Tazuna said, getting confused. "Kakashi sensei, Kurenai sensei, Zabuza, you are about to watch my very first creation. Watch closely," Naruto said, and everyone wondered what he was going to do. Even Sasuke, who just got up a few minutes ago. "You really think you can defeat all of us?" On of the thugs said. Naruto simply smiled. Naruto brought his hands closer and slammed them against each other and started concentrating. He slightly snapped his hand and started conjuring lightning between them. A few seconds later, the rotating chakra started shrinking into a small, perfectly light blue sphere. Naruto sent the sphere into the sky, and it expanded into a flash of lightning, immediately gathering clouds in the sky. Thousands could be thunders could be heard as the sky started to get dark and heavy rain started to fall. As the thunders infected everyone, watching in wonder how the kid managed to make it rain without much difficulty. This is how you are going to die, going to kill us, Rain. Gato said. Everyone thought that what he was doing failed, but Naruto simply shrugged. Naruto confident, reassured chakra in his right hand and sent a small beam to the sky, and everyone was a massive lightning dragon gathered in the sky as if watching from command of his master, as if waiting for the command for his master. Watch closely, Naruto said and brought his hand down, commanding the dragon to attack. Right on, Kirin. Naruto said. The dragon left the sky and rocketed towards Gato and the thugs without such a speed that everyone only saw a glimpse of lightning before the bridge where Gato was exploded with remembrance force that even had to gather chakra that everyone had to gather chakra to its feet, but just not to blow away. Everyone watched in awe at the power of such a jutsu. When the darks cleared, there was nothing left. Where the thousand where the thunder landed. In the place where Gato and the thugs were, there was now a big hole. Even the bridge itself was blown to bits. So much power, Kakashi said as he watched everything with his Sharingan. The technique was easily an S rank. I should go to the leaf. Maybe I should go to the leaf. I wouldn't be on the receiving end of that. Zabuza thought. That power should be mine. With that, I could easily defeat my brother. Nah, you can't. There was Susano to stop the queuing. Yes, that power will be mine, Sasuke thought as he watched in awe the massive lightning strike. What the hell are you? Are these shinobis? They can be human. Tazuna thought in awe and a bit of fear. Awesome, my technique worked. Naruto explained happily, and everyone turned to him with their fixed on him. Congrats, great. Kurama said. It is over. Gato is no more is more than dead. Kakashi said, looking at Naruto of laughed. So Zabuza, have you thought about Naruto's proposal? Kakashi asked, and Zabuza started pondering. He was tired of this life, and if he went to the leaf, perhaps he would witness that attack once again. The lightning dragon was beautiful. I will go with you. I am tired of this life. Besides, I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that. Zabuza said as he pointed at the massive space of the bridge that Naruto smacked. By the way, Naruto, congrats. That is on powerful jutsu. Really S rank. Kakashi said happily that he inherited his father's talent, and the best thing is that its chakra consumption is pretty non-existent since the chakra is produced by natural electricity of the sky. Naruto replied, and Kakashi nodded. You need a very high lightning affinity, as you need to manipulate the very essence of lightning and also manage to gather it up in the sky. But it is you have to. I would happily teach you if you want. I will teach you. Happily teach you. Teach it to you, Nissan. Naruto said. Nissan. Zabuza asked. We aren't really brothers, but we are close enough. Naruto said. Dope. I demand you teach me. that jutsu, Sasuke said, winding up to Naruto. No, Naruto said, what do you mean no? That power should belong to me and Uchiha and Elite. Sasuke said, the reason I don't want to teach you is because you have the wrong goals. Revenge and lust of power, Naruto said and walked off, leaving Sasuke angry. The council will hard about this. Sasuke thought, okay, everyone, let's head home. Tazuna, you can work peacefully now. Gato is dead. We will probably be a few more days since Naruto decided to blow up the bridge, Kakashi said, glaring at him. Naruto simply shrugged off his back. It's getting too long. The next half will be released tomorrow, so wait for it. This is the end for part 2, part 11. Part 11 chapter 12 is 50% over, and the other 50% will be released tomorrow as another part. That being said, goodbye. I hope to see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Bye bye.